Welcome to my next playthrough series. Yes, it's Robinson Crusoe Adventures on the Cursed Island, or Cursed Island. And, yeah. As voted on for our July solo playthrough, we will be doing the solo. And what it means when we're doing things solo on Robinson Crusoe, we get Friday. We also get a dog. His dog Spot gets to come with us. We're going to go through, I randomly chose the Carpenter. And we're going to take a look at the Castaways scenario and have everything set up. We got food crates here, and I'll explain everything as we play. So we have our campsite here on the beach where we washed ashore. We don't have any shelter yet, of course. And there are some specific solo rules. I'll try and explain those as we play. The turn order of the game is up here. You basically have this happening, but you skip it on the first round. Then you have morale phase, and so on. We'll get into them as we play. Let's take a look at Castaways and what we specifically are supposed to be doing to try and win the game. This is, yes, a brutal game to win, as everybody knows. It's a lot of fun, but holy moly, you're going to get crushed. 99 times out of 100 you will lose. But anyway, we'll try and have fun losing. All right, let's take a look at Castaways and see what it's all about. All right, here we have the lovely Castaways scenario. There's 7 in the game that you get, which is actually cool. King Kong is one of them. There's Volcano Island, cannibals. It's crazy stuff. This is what they suggest you do. It's actually, I think, number 1. So we put the little turn marker here on 1. We basically have 12 turns to build a giant fire and signal a boat to get off the island. But we have to live to get there. Of course, we can die during the game. So scenario 1, you're castaways on a deserted island. It's the end of summer. You should prepare for winter. Build a shelter, roof, a palisade. It'll be difficult to survive during the tough months of autumn and winter. You also have to build a pile of wood so you can light it on fire when you spot a ship on the horizon to call for help. Aha! Goal of the scenario, you need to build a fire item and a wood pile box below by the 10th, 11th, or 12th round to be spotted by a ship. If you have both of these on rounds 10, 11, or 12, you win! Yeah, right. Building the wood pile. The wood pile requires 15 wood markers to complete. You can only put wood on the pile. The action phase of each round, with the exception of the mast and the oil. So we'll explain those if and when they happen, if we survive long enough. The pile must be completed in stages from left to right. You can place any amount of wood on the pile in a round, but only 1 stage per round. So the first time is like 1 wood, then you can put on 2, then you can put on 3, 4, 6, and you have to build them up till you eventually have 15 wood in here. The wood used for the pile cannot be taken back and used for anything else. Yeah, like we're not going to need wood for anything, right? Yeah, let's take a look at, speaking of wood, let's take a look at the things we can try to do to survive and the things we can build. Alright, so in the game, you basically always start out, we have a dam, the medicine, the rope, the bricks, a shovel, which we can build right away because we have the tile exposed to build the shovel, a knife, the fire, we need the fire obviously, a pot. Now, with the expansion, the treasure chest expansion, it came with all the Kickstarter extras and stuff. I also have that one, so we have a starter glass, and then I randomly drew one of the glass items. We can make a jar of banana jam, which will give us 3 non-perishable food if and when we can complete that, which will be cool. So if we have a brick, we can build a wall, giving us a couple of palisades. We can build a bow, but we need the knife, the rope, giving us +1 on our weapon level, which of course starts at 0. And then we can build a moat, giving us 2 palisades. We can build a spear, which is a wood and a knife, giving us +3 on our weapon. And we can build a raft, which should give us, I think, either or a gray or a green explorer extra worker for the turn. I don't think it's for the rest of the game. I think it's for the 1 turn you complete it. Alright, and yes, we need to build a shelter because at nighttime, if you don't have a shelter, you lose health. You're out in the elements. And because we're playing a 1-player game, we do the 2-player thing. So we need 2 wood and 1 pelt to actually build a shelter. And you get pelts basically by taking on animals. We haven't seen any animals yet because we need to explore. And then you can build a roof on top of your shelter, which again costs these things, and as well as building a palisade, giving us some defense against things, and weapon level if we're trying to hunt beasts. So, and again, we'll explain all this as we play it. So that's basically all of the stuff we can build and do. Let's take a look now at our carpenter, our starting items, Friday, and the dog. All right, this kind of gets everything in here. So we have a couple of tokens. These cards are actually double-sided, which is really cool. So you can have a male carpenter or a female carpenter, and that comes with all of them, which I appreciate. That's kind of neat. So, and you have these little wooden discs that are also, you put stickers on them for double sided. You don't have to put stickers on them, but you do. So our health tracker starts here. We get all the way to the skull and crossbones. You die! We have food crates out here, which start on the game. So we can assign 1 or 2 workers here, and that can, if we assign 2 workers here, we can end up getting a perishable food and a non-perishable food. That's cool. If this gets pushed off the board, nothing happens, but we then lose the food crates. All right. Because we're the carpenter, we can build a snare. Well, how do we build a snare? We need a rope. How do we build a rope? For the rope, where is our rope? We need to find a specific tile through exploration in order to try and build the rope. So, and the snare would give us +1 perishable food token on our starting tile, which we'll take a look at. We have a flask of rum, which can give us 1 health during the night phase, and the flask of rum will work twice. And we also have biscuits, which can give us a non-perishable food a couple of times. There we go. All right, let's take a look at Friday, and we'll take a look at the dog. All right, so we got Friday here. He has 1 token to help us out. He can be assigned by himself to work on something. There's a whole bunch of rules for him. I'll get into them as we play. He has so much health. He doesn't have as much health, but he's not affected by weather. He's not affected by having no shelter. He's not affected by a whole pile of stuff because he's a native of the island, so he knows how to survive. We don't, of course, because we washed ashore. And we also have a dog, but the dog can only be used for exploration and or hunting, and that's it. You can't use the dog for anything else. So he is that. Now, Friday can go out and do something by himself. He can take the dog with him to ensure that's going to happen. But if the carpenter and Friday are out doing something together, the carpenter is always the main character, and Friday's always just helping. Because there are certain effects that can happen when you're trying to do something. Okay, I think that is probably it. We're going to take a look at our starting tile, and I think we're going to get into the first turn. Alright, so we've washed ashore, we're on the beach. This is a wood symbol and a fish symbol, so non-perishable food and wood. We need wood! We need lots of wood. We need 15 wood. We can't just rely on the beach to just give us enough wood because we only have 12 rounds and we need 15 wood. So, as you can see, we're going to have to do something else to get more wood. Oh, and I forgot, on the Castaway sheet, there's also a hatchet you can build. And what was the other thing? And the mast of the ship. So maybe we'll take a quick boo at that as well. So down at the bottom of Castaways, we do have a hatchet that we can build on the camp tile. Give us a +1 wood on the camp tile. So we probably want to do the hatchet as soon as possible, but we have to find, I think that's mountain terrain. So we need 1 wood, and we have to have discovered a mountain area on the island in order to build the hatchet. And then this one, we need the rope, we need wood, and we need a pelt to do the mast. But that gives us 3 wood, and it's only for the wood pile, so that's cool. So that's ways for this scenario to give us some more wood, because we need lots of wood. Okay, I think that's it. So let's go ahead and have a turn of the game and see if I can try and keep the rules kind of correct. All right, it's somewhat complicated, but and the solo makes it a little bit more because you got a little more going on. All right, let's begin turn 1. All right, so turn 1, you basically do not draw one of these weather cards, or what do they call? I forget what they're called. Are they called weather cards? Mystery cards, or exploration cards. For the first turn, you don't do it. Then we go into the second stage, is the morale stage, and because we're playing solo, we're just happy to be alive. So before we do anything with the track, we actually get to move up +1 on the morale track because we're playing solo. And now what do? Now we get to collect 1 of these awesome tokens, and those tokens allow us to do special abilities on our sheet, which we haven't gotten into because we don't have enough. We need 2 to do anything, so we're not going to worry about that on the first round. All right, up next is, I think it's the action phase. So let's see what we can do there. All right, I guess I should get the terminology correct. These are determination tokens based off your morale, and they can be used. Each character has 4 specific special abilities. As you can see here, discard 2, discard 2, discard 3, discard 3. We'll get into the specifics of those when we have more than one morale or determination token, because right now we can't use it. All right, up next, the next phase. All right, the next phase is not exploration, it's production. So we're into step 3, production phase. So we have to take a look at our starting tile and see what we're going to produce. All right, so in the production phase, you can see on our starting location, we have a wood symbol and a fish symbol, which is a non-perishable. So we're going to get one, whoa, those things are slippery, one non-perishable food item and 1 piece of wood. And those are going to go into our immediately available section of the board. All right, so at the top of the board, we're going to put our perishable food and our piece of wood here in the available section of the board. This is our future availability, and this is our current availability. So just kind of keep those separated. So we can use the wood and the perishable food this turn. All right, let's take a look at the next phase coming up. All right, now we're moving on to the action phase. What are we going to do on the island to try and survive? Well, yeah, we can go ahead and try and get the glass by using a build action. We can try and get the shovel using a build action. We cannot try to build shelter right now because we either need 1 pelt or 2 wood, and we only have 1 wood. And our carpenter has a special ability, but it needs 2 determination tokens, and we only have 1, so we won't be building a shelter this round, which is probably not going to be great for us. We also have food crates out here that we could go to. If we go put 1 pawn on there, then we can get 1 perishable food. If we put 2 pawns, we get a perishable and a non-perishable. Now, because we're playing solo, Friday's not going to be eating, as suffering from not having food, and we get 1 food from our beach tile. So I don't think we're going to worry too much about the food crates. So what is it we want to do? In order to build the hatchet, we have to find a mountain location on the board somewhere by exploring. So we will be doing an explore action, and our dog, as I mentioned before, can be used for either fighting beasts or exploring. So we will have ourselves and the dog go exploring. So we'll go out here and we're going to explore the island, and that's going to succeed. We're using 2 pawns, automatic success. We're not have to roll any dice. Okay, we have our pawn and Friday left. We can take 2 separate actions if we want. Let me figure out what else we want to do for the rest of this turn. Okay, I think we are going to take ourselves and Friday. Well, I know we're playing it safe here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to we're going to build the shovel because we're going to need it eventually. I'd like to be able to. Where is the moat? I'd like to eventually be able to make the moat. Where it is here, which will give us 2 on our palisade. But we have to build a shelter first before we can do the palisade. All right, I think we have assigned. We're exploring, we're building a shovel, and so now we start resolving all the effects or all of the things that we're trying to do. And the order of resolving effects is kind of down here on the bottom of the board. So we would start over here on the threat area, but we're not doing anything here. We would then resolve hunting, we're not hunting. Construction, building something. We are building something, we're building the shovel. So that's our next stage. So let's go and successfully build our shovel. All right, well, with the help of Friday, we successfully go ahead and we build the shovel. So that's pretty cool. We now have a shovel at our disposal. So we flip this over. Or no, we don't. Sorry, we put this in the future resources. What am I talking about? Future resources. We now have our shovel constructed. All right, next we go over to the exploration of the island. That's our actually, it's not. We'll take a look here. Oh, so much to keep in mind in this game. Will I get errors in my playthrough? I'm trying not to. watching videos, reading the rules, trying to get things straight. All right, the next would be gathering phase. We don't have anybody out gathering anything, so that's not going to happen. And next up is exploration phase. So that'll be the last for us, because we're going to explore, and then there would be a arranging the camp action, but we didn't put anybody here, and then we can rest at night and gain 1 health back, but we're not doing that either. All right, let's go explore that tile and see what we get. All right, so we're going to do an explore action to this location. And yes, we used the dog to go with us, which means we don't have to roll any dice. We're playing it easy on the first round. So yes, what you do, we're going to shuffle these. As you shuffle these tokens, and we're going to be placing one out there. And there we go, shuffled up pretty good. And let's see what we have explored. And right on, yes! We have, yes, I cut myself. We have a mountain space, which is perfect, because that allows us to build the fire, and a bunch of, and I think, oh no, not the rope, but anyway, I'm excited about this. We can gather food on this location. We have a parrot symbol. We do have a beast showing up. We have a surprise token. It actually has natural shelter. And that is nothing for, this is, you know what? This is actually a super good thing for us. Okay, let's take things in order. This can be gathered on a future turn for food. I'd like wood to show up there, but it didn't. We have a mountain location, so let's go ahead and deal with the mountain location and all of the stuff we can build. All right, I'm pretty pumped about this for first round, because now that we have the mountain location, we can build the hatchet with 1 piece of wood. Yes, and that's going to give us a plus wood production on our camp tile. Awesome. All right, let's take a look at anything else that has a mountain on it. All right, other mountain location. So we can now build a knife. We can build the knife. We can build the fire, which we also need for this scenario. And I do believe, yeah, that was it for mountain locations. Oh man, that is so awesome. All right, let's take a look at the rest of that card. By card, I mean tile, exploration tile. We do have one of these lovely animal symbols on here, so we're going to take this, and I have the expansion in here too, the treasure, all the promo cards and stuff that came with the treasure chest expansion. So we'll shuffle that up, and we're going to place one of these in the beast location. Alright, so I'll give another little shuffle here. So we're going to place one of these here. So we can go hunting now, because we have something to hunt. Alright, let's take a look at the rest of the tile. Alright, as I mentioned, it has one of these exploration tokens on it. So it's going to be, so there's some future resource. There's something here that we found really cool. So the dog, the carpenter, and I put them in the bag here. We'll just randomly draw one, and let's see what we've found. And we have found, oh, okay, it's the special one. All right, let's take a look and see what that means. All right, well, that special symbol is right here. We found oil, 2 wood, only for the wood pile. Ah, this was not the time to get this. No. So we get 2 wood, but can only go on the wood pile. Now remember, we can do the oil and the mast out of sequence, which means, but so anyway, we get 2 wood, but we can only put 1 here because we have to do the 1 first. You can't put it in on here twice. However, we do now have our first piece of wood there. That's actually, wow, we're getting so lucky, but I'm fairly lucky, I guess. Okay, there's there was that symbol. So on those exploration tiles, if we get the book symbol, we got nothing happening and no effect for this one. All right, that takes care of that entire symbol. So we're finished with our exploration phase. Up next, I believe, is our weather phase. Oops, I think I jumped the gun on the oil. This is actually supposed to go here. And now that we're finished with all of everything we have done, we now move everything down. So the shovel gets built. So this is going to go over and is now available. We have a shovel built. And then this comes down as a future resource. So we have oil as a future resource, but we don't have to use it right now. It's just available to us. So that's what that special symbol means. And so that clears that up. Because what's neat is we're going to be able to do level 1 of the wood pile next turn. And then we're going to be able to use the oil as well to put for the turn after for the 2 wood. So that kind of saves us 2 wood. I think I'm doing that correctly. Like I said, there's so much going on. I may get things kind of a little bit out of order. All right, that's basically, we did all of our actions, and then all of the future resources come down. And now we're going into the weather phase. So let's take a look at how that works. Alright, so for the weather phase, let's consult our Castaways scenario. As you can see here on turn 1, 2, and 3, we're not rolling any weather dice. When we get to turns 4, 5, and 6, we're going to be rolling the orange weather die, and we'll explain how all that lovely stuff happens when it happens. And when we get to turn 7 and beyond, we roll all 3 of them. Now, that's going to be bad. We're going to be wanting to have a shelter built and palisade and a whole bunch of stuff. But remember, we've got to have a whole bunch of wood here. We got the hatchet. We can do the hatchet next time. I'm very excited about that. All right. That's the weather phase, which we basically skip right now. And now it is the night phase. And unfortunately, we need to eat food and we need some shelter, which we don't have. Alright, because we're playing solo, we do have Friday with us, but he does not suffer the effects of not having shelter and not having food. He scrounges for himself and he knows how to survive, so he doesn't take any issues with that. So for every character, which is 1, we need to eat 1 food, and that's a banana. So we have some perishable food, which we got from our beach location. So we get to do that. We're going to leave these other resources in here. Any perishable food that was left over would rot and be no good for the next turn. And now it is time to see if we have any shelter. And as you know, we've not built any shelter, so we must suffer 1 wound for not having a shelter. Alright, so we will suffer our first wound. Now if we get the skull and crossbones, of course, we lose the game. But so far we're not doing too horribly. We do have a flask of rum. We could actually drink some rum and heal a wound if we wanted to. But you know what? We'll hang on to our rum for a while and not worry about it. Okay, I think that is it for our first turn. I hope I've not made too many mistakes or led you astray on how things are supposed to operate. I think I'm doing things correctly, but again, check the comments because yes, every once in a while, every 20 or 30 playthroughs, I do make 1 tiny error, so check the comments. All right, we're going to zoom out. We're going to wrap up our first episode of Robinson Crusoe Castaways solo for today. All right, well, that's going to wrap up Robinson Crusoe turn 1. So yes, when we come back tomorrow, we're starting turn 2. At least we don't have any weather effects. We found the mountain space. We can build the hatchet now, which is very exciting for me. We can build a knife. We need to build a shelter. We have a beast we can hunt. We have more exploring we can do. We can gather some more resources. I don't know, lots of things to do. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. This is Robinson Crusoe, Adventures on a Cursed Island. We're doing Castaways solo. We've got Friday and the dog with us. So we're going to see if we can get that fire pile built up and get ourselves a ship before we die. So thanks so much. I'll see you tomorrow for the continuation.